Welcome, my comrades, to part 2 of this explosive series. Today, we'll take a look at what to do before, during, and after a nuclear attack. If you've had the foresight to tune into this video before doomsday knocks, kudos to you. But for those who procrastinated and find themselves amidst the chaos, fret not. Skip ahead to save your ass from being pulverized. No need for further chit-chat. Let's dive right in with today's question.
Dr. Kenwitty, how do I survive a nuclear attack?
Well, kiddo, that is a really stupid question. But anyway, I will answer it in a minute.
Alpha, Omega, Kinetic, Energy, stupid questions answered cleverly.
A nuclear explosion might come knocking with a polite warning or crash the party uninvited. But make no mistake, folks, it's no picnic. We're talking serious business here. Blast, heat, radiation, the whole 9 yards. But you can keep your loved ones safe by knowing what to do and being prepared if it occurs. Let me paint a picture of what unfolds after an atomic bomb touches down nearby. Let's break it down, folks. First, you've got that blinding bright flash, enough to mess with your vision for a hot minute. Then comes the devastating blast wave, ready to wreak havoc on anything and everything miles away from ground zero. Next up, we've got radiation, the silent but deadly threat that can mess with your cells, cause radiation sickness, and all sorts of nasty business. Following that, fire and heat, turning up the heat and causing chaos, even several miles out from the epicenter. And let's not forget about the EMP, frying electronics far and wide, causing a whole mess of temporary disruptions. And finally, the icing on the cake, radioactive fallout, raining down like a toxic shower, bringing sickness to anyone caught outside. Stay safe out there, folks. Fallout is most perilous during the initial hours post-detonation, emitting its highest doses of radiation. It typically takes over 15 minutes for this fallout to descend to ground level, particularly for areas beyond the immediate blast zones. But that they don't teach you in school, do they? This time frame provides a window of opportunity to minimize radiation exposure by adhering to these simple steps. Get inside! Take cover pronto. Seek refuge inside the nearest building to shield yourself from radiation. Opt for brick or concrete structures. They offer the best protection. If you're outdoors when a detonation occurs, take cover from the blast behind anything that might offer protection. Lie face down to protect exposed skin from the heat and flying debris. If you are in a vehicle, stop safely and duck down within the vehicle. After the shockwave passes, get inside the nearest best shelter location for protection from potential fallout. You will have 10 minutes or more to find an adequate shelter. Be inside before the fallout arrives. Strip off any contaminated clothing and scrub or rinse exposed skin if you were outdoors when the fallout hit. If you cannot wash or shower, use a wipe or clean wet cloth to wipe any skin or hair that was not covered. Clean any pets that were outside after the fallout arrived. Head for the basement or center of the building, keeping clear of outer walls and the roof. Stay inside. Hunker down and stay put for a full 24 hours unless authorities say otherwise. Keep your family indoors and stick to your shelter. Reconnect later to steer clear of any lingering radiation. And don't forget about your furry friends. Keep them indoors too. Stay tuned. Keep your ears peeled and stay connected to official channels for updates on when it's safe to venture out and where to head next. Dust off those battery-operated radios. They'll be your lifeline in this chaos. But remember, expect disruptions to cell service, text, TV, and the internet. If advised to evacuate, listen for information about routes, shelters, and procedures. If you have evacuated, do not return until you are told it is safe to do so by local officials. The key to coming out on top in this situation is preparation, folks, and the prime time to get ready is right now. Let's dive into what you need to do. Now, if you learn one thing from this lecture, let it be this: prepare now. Here's the drill. Identify those shelter spots immediately. Know where to hunker down, whether you're at home, work, or school. Underground hideouts or the heart of substantial buildings are your best bet. And don't forget about your commute. Pinpoint those suitable shelters along the way. Outdoors, vehicles, and mobile homes? Nope, not gonna cut it. Basements or the core of tall buildings are your go-tos. Now, let's talk emergency supplies. You gotta have them where you frequent. Think bottled water, non-perishable grub, medical must-haves, and hey, a hand-cranked or battery-powered radio for when the lights go out. Toss in a flashlight and spare batteries while you're at it. If you can swing it, stash enough to last you a good few days. Be safe after. It is safe to eat or drink packaged food items or items that were inside a building. Do not consume food or liquids that were outdoors uncovered and may be contaminated by fallout. If you are sick or injured, listen for instructions on how and where to get medical attention when authorities tell you it is safe to exit. And hey, don't forget those handy iodine tablets. They can help protect your thyroid from absorbing radioactive iodine, which is a real boon when you're dodging fallout. Remember, strategic planning beforehand and regular check-ins on your readiness are the keys to staying one step ahead in the face of uncertainty. But hey, all that preparation goes down the drain if you're too close to ground zero. So let's delve into the different impact zones using the example of Fat Man, the atomic bomb dropped on Nagasaki back in 1945 by the Americans. Brain cells, pay attention. The dance floor for neurons is opening now. Fireball radius. The radius spanned up to 730 feet with an area of about 0.06 square miles. Anything caught inside was vaporized quicker than ice cream on a hot summer day. Heavy blast damage radius. Imagine a zone stretching out to 0.5 miles, covering roughly 0.7 square miles. Say goodbye to heavily built concrete buildings. They're getting knocked down like a house of cards, with fatalities hitting the high notes. Radiation radius. Picture a zone extending about 0.8 miles out, covering roughly 2 square miles. Stepping in here means a likely fatal dose of radiation, killing within a month, with about 15% of survivors eventually facing cancer due to exposure. Moderate blast damage radius. This area extends over 1 mile, impacting about 3.6 square miles. Residential buildings collapse like a game of Jenga. Injuries are widespread and fatalities are unfortunately common. Thermal radiation radius. This deadly soup reaches up to 1.4 miles, spanning approximately 6 square miles. Third-degree burns are no joke. They'll make you wish you'd invested in SPF 1000 sunscreen with a 100% probability at this yield. Light blast damage radius. Stretching out to 2.9 miles, covering around 25.5 square miles. You'll see glass windows breaking like hearts in a Taylor Swift song. Peeking out the window after the explosion's flash might lead to regret. Once you're more than 3 miles away from the epicenter, you might escape the immediate threat of burning skin, but the risk of fallout still looms large. Well, folks, when we're pondering the potential blast zones for those colossal, earth-shattering bombs, we're talking about strategic targets and bustling population centers. Think military bases, political hubs, and bustling cityscapes. But hey, if you're feeling adventurous, maybe it's worth considering a cozy cabin tucked away deep in the woods, far from the chaos. However, chances are, even that won't save you when the global nuclear war hits. Considering that current warheads exceed the blast yield of Fat Man by a factor of 2,500, and, as we've learned, there are plenty of them out there. Even though the number of warheads worldwide is decreasing, with advancements in technology and increasing tensions around the world, it's likely we'll see even more sophisticated and powerful nuclear weapons in the years to come. Miniaturization, increased yield, and perhaps even new delivery methods could all be on the horizon. So buckle up, folks, because the future of atomic bombs might just be more explosive than we ever imagined. Lucky for you, though, now that you've watched this video, you know what to do when doomsday comes knocking. And maybe, just maybe, you'll make it through. Best of luck with that, my fellow survivors. Well, kiddo, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. For more interesting videos like this, leave a like and subscribe to this channel. You don't want to die stupid, do you? And feel free to ask more questions in the comments down below.